Good afternoon, Old Gun Guy here. Welcome to my video today. It's going to be on a Cold War Relic, the semi-automatic pistol. It's a CZ 52, model 1952. The name suggests, it was introduced in 1952. It's produced in Czechoslovakia, the former Czechoslovakia, when it was part of the Warsaw Pact during the Cold War. It fires the 7.62 by 25 millimeter Tokarev cartridge, and I'm going to go into that first, the history, where it came from, and then I'll go into the pistol. The cartridge started out as a 7.62 by 25 bore shot in 1893. The Germans introduced it, a bore shot pistol. I think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but same basic dimensions: 7.62 30 caliber, 25 millimeter case. The case length is 25 millimeters, and it is a bottleneck cartridge, like a rifle cartridge. Rimless. That cartridge became the basis for several other cartridges. In 1896, it was the power was increased and slightly, and it became the 7.63 Mauser cartridge, the 7.63 by 25 millimeter, basically identical size-wise. The bore shot became the basis for the 7.62, the 30 caliber Luger. I think it's 21 millimeters in length, and the 9 by 19 Parabellum, which is in use to this day, over 120 years after its introduction. But we're going to discuss the Tokarev. The Imperial Russia, purchased a lot of 1896 Mauser pistols, DWM, Deutsche Waffenmaschinenfabrik. I think that's what DWM stands for. The 1896 Mauser, really the first widely popular semi-automatic handgun, and very high performance. It fired an 85 grain projectile, the 7.63 Mauser, same cartridge, at about 1,400 feet per second muzzle velocity out of a handgun. The C96. The Russians purchased quite a few of the broom handle Mausers, as they're commonly called, the C96 Mauser, and began experimenting with the cartridge in the 20s, when it became the Soviet Union after the communists took over. They increased the power of the 7.63 Mauser cartridge to a little higher performance, 1,450, 1,500 feet per second. And they introduced it in their Tokarev pistol. They renamed the cartridge, which is identical to the 7.63 by 25 Mauser, the 7.62 by 25 millimeter Tokarev. It's stuff here. This is made in Yugoslavia, well, the former Yugoslavia. They had a bloody divorce in the 90s. This ammunition is made in Serbia. The Mauser cartridge can be fired at any Tokarev chambered weapon, as it's slightly lower pressure, but some of the hot submachine gun loadings of this Tokarev round will damage a broom handle Mauser if fired in there repeatedly. So you got to be careful what you shoot at if you should have a broom handle Mauser. The Iron Curtain that descended over Europe after the Second World War, when the Soviet Union locked all of Eastern Europe down, from the Baltic all the way down to the Adriatic Sea there, became known as the Iron Curtain. Became the Communist bloc, the Eastern Bloc it was referred to. 1955, to counter the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, the Soviet Union formed a alliance of Eastern European countries called the Warsaw Pact, and Czechoslovakia was forced into the Warsaw Pact. They like to design their own weapons, not follow the Soviet Union model. So, and they're very good firearm and gun designers. Just to finish up on a cartridge, the max chamber pressure for this 7.62 Tokarev is rated at 36,000 psi. Pretty high pressure cartridge, and I think they proof tested up to 47,000 psi. But this cartridge is loaded in the Tokarev pistol and a number of carbines and submachine guns of the former Soviet Union. And some countries actually still use this cartridge as a handgun service cartridge today for their militaries. The submachine gun loadings were generally pretty hot, 1,800 feet a second, 1,800 feet a second. And with that in mind, because the Czechs originally wanted to design this in 9mm parabellum, but politically, being part of the Warsaw Pact, they had to take the Soviet cartridge. So they designed this pistol to handle any pressure 7.62 Tokarev round, hot submachine gun ammo to the lighter loads. It's got a very unique operating system for a handgun, and it's actually based on the German MG-42 machine gun of World War II fame. It's a roller-locked weapon. Go over the specs. A bunch of these come in the country, I'm going to say 25 years ago. That's when I got this. The gun store he had like a half dozen of these, and they were extremely inexpensive. I think it was $120 I paid for this, and it's in really nice shape. So it's, let me go over the specs. I wrote some of them down here. Let me just, obviously the caliber is 7.62 by 25mm Tokarev. It also fired a 7.63 Mauser interchangeably. Muzzle velocity 1,450 feet a second, 85 grain bullet weight. Some of the bullets are 86 grains. The barrel is 4.5 inches, and the sight radius is 6.5 inches. On the rear sight, you can adjust the drift, and the sights are very tiny. I don't know if it's show up on camera. It's a very fine front blade and a very tiny U-notch rear sight. They're adequate. It's a pretty accurate pistol due to its operation. It's got like a black phosphate finish, matte black finish on the steel. It's 8.25 inches in length. The pistol weighs 34 ounces. It's a single action semi-automatic pistol, meaning the hammer has to be cocked to fire it. It does not have a single action pull. This pistol has been cleared many times, so with the safety off, pull the trigger. Boom. That would be the first shot. I'm going to take the magazine out to cycle. The height is 5.5 inches, and it has a frame-mounted safety lever, and it's also a decocker. I go into that. The 3 o'clock position on one of these pistols, the safety here, is safe. Pull the trigger, nothing happens. If you push this lever up to the 2 o'clock position, it safely decocks the hammer. The hammer doesn't contact the firing pin, it's in a firing pin block. And that's another pretty nice design feature here. It has a firing pin block. As a consequence, for a single action pistol, this one has a 9-pound trigger pull. I've measured it, 8 to 10 or 11 pounds because of the firing pin block to prevent this thing from accidentally discharging should you drop it. To fire it out is the bottom position. You can't see it, but there's a little red dot in there, and that's fire. If you're going to do a safety check on this, you put it on safe, pull the trigger, it shouldn't fire. You put it up, it should decock, and you put it all the way down, it should fire. Like I said, this gun is delayed roller locked, like H&K 91. The H&K family of roller lock weapons, very, very similar. The MG-42 machine gun. The MP5, all the civilian variants, HK91, HK33, the HK94, the 9mm one. So it's very strong action. It's got rollers and are machined into the slide, the notches that provide a delay when a gun fires. I'm going to pull the gun apart. It feels strips extremely simple. There's an 8-shot magazine. That comes apart simply too. There's a little tiny slot here. You put a screwdriver blade in there and it unlocks the floor plate, and you push the floor plate off the front and take the magazine spring out. And I do have 2 magazines for it. I don't know where the other one is right now. It's in the safe somewhere. The basic operation here, you can't really carry this pistol with it round in the chamber. The safety on, that's really not recommended. You can carry it with a round in the chamber, but you decock it. And I guess if you were to draw this pistol, you would have to, manually cock the hammer, and then you'd be ready to go. Or leave it what's called condition 3, chamber empty, hammer down, and you would charge it when you draw it out of the holster. It's kind of a long grip front to back, and it's about, I think the pistol's rated 1.2 inches width. It's not really that wide, but it's long because of this 7.62 Tokarev cartridge is pretty long. The case being an inch long in itself, to 25 millimeters. To fire this gun, you would load a magazine, pull back the slide and charge it, take it off safe, and fire. The delayed roller action, that's pretty much it. About 4 millimeters of movement, the barrel and the slide, and the roller's in a lock. It tries to slide all the way back under spring pressure to the end, eject the case, extract and eject the case, pick up the fresh round, and you're ready to fire again. And the reset's nice. It's pretty crisp, even though it's like 8 or 9 pounds, it's a pretty crisp trigger. To take it apart, it's got a takedown lever here, and it's kind of a weird hand position. You gotta cock the hammer. Let me see if I can do this. Pull the takedown. The takedown lever, and the slide just comes right off the frame. And that's the frame. That's all you need to do to clean it. And this is your takedown lever. These you grab on both sides, and it pulls it down and takes it off the frame. Now you can see the famous locking rollers in the head of the chamber end of the barrel, and the can piece. Let's see if I can point it out. That's the can piece and the 2 rollers, and they're locked into a recess in the slide. To take the barrel out, you need a punch or a 3/16 cleaning kit handle, and then you gotta push it, put it in this little hole, push forward to release the barrel from the slide. It takes like a third hand to do it and film it, but there's your rollers. Your recoil spring comes off, obviously. Barrel. And that's the whole operate mechanism right there. And because the barrel stays in line, it doesn't tilt like a Browning design. Swing down on a link. It's a pretty accurate handgun. And to put it back, it's the reverse. You got to put the spring in, slide the barrel in. You got to put this punch in here, in the locking piece. If that shows up. Get it into the slide, and it's locked back into the. Put the gun back together. Basically, you just. That's it. Slides right back on. It's very intelligently designed, simple firearm. With that, I'm going to go do the shooting demonstration portion. Chronograph. I'm going to chronograph some of these. Do an accuracy test, 20 yards at a target. Me firing it offhand. See how the light's a little tricky outside, but I should do all right with it. Comparative recoil with a handgun, with a 22, a Ruger. I do the ballistic pendulums, the steel plates, the usual routine if you watch some of my other videos. And a thermal effects target. I'll come back for the summary, and we'll go on to our shooting demos. Okay, at the chronograph, I'm going to take 5 shots with the CZ 52 pistol and 7.62 by 25 Tokarev. I have some PPU ammunition, 85 grain projectile. We'll see how it does. I'm going to turn the chrono on. I'm going to zoom the camera onto the chrono so you can see the shots. Right. And bring it up. Okay. $13.97, $14.60, $14.62, $14.75, and $14.77. Okay, back this off. All right. I'll tally that up in the summary. That'll be our 5 shots with the CZ52 pistol. Next, I'm going to do a offhand accuracy test. Same ammunition, 20 yards offhand. I'll set that up, and we'll put the camera on the target. Okay, back at the target here. IPSC target. Got a name and dot I drew here. Recycling these targets. This is from my 338 Winchester Magnum video. I'll aim here, back 20 yards, offhand. 5 shots, we'll see how it prints. I'll zoom the camera in so you can see the shots. All right, first up. I vertically strang those. Let's pause this and try it again. Okay, round 2. See if we can do a little bit better. We have it, 10 shots. They're only A-zone, but decock it. Let me back this off. All right, that was 10 shots. This thing does throw the brass. I'm going to say 20, 25 feet. It's pretty amazing. They're all in the A zone. High velocity, 1,450 feet a second. In fact, I believe until the advent of the .357 Magnum handgun cartridge in 1935, the Mauser and the Tokarev were the highest velocity handgun cartridges in the world. 1,450 feet a second average is, it's pretty hot. Do the comparative recoil test next, and then we'll move into the woods. Okay, comparative recoil test. Baseline, Ruger Mark II, 22 long rifle handgun. I think I have 40 grain Remington Thunderbolts in here. Get a close up on the camera. 2, nothing. Now for the CZ. All right, CZ. All right, there we go. Nice and close. And that's 2. The recoil really ain't that bad. It's snappy, but it's not really that bad. That'll be it for our comparative recoil demonstration. Okay. Hit the screen. All right. My little ballistic pendulum test. I'm going to shoot the 22 on the center plate, 2 shots. The right plate will be the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev out of the CZ. I'm going to zoom in on the plates and we'll get the 22. .22 long rifle, center plate. And that's our 22. All right, CZ, right plate. Overshot that. Let me put one more round in it. All right, do that over. Second shot. And the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev, it's with a little bit of authority. That'll be it for the ballistic energy comparison on the plates. Okay, I'm just going to shoot 4 or 5 shots downrange here, just to show the pistol functioning. I believe we got one in the chamber. Try to get it on camera. And that's just a demonstration of the actual firing of the pistol. It does shoot a bit low. It's shooting under the plates. And the 50-yard plate, I'd aim up at the head to hit it. So I have a demonstration I'm going to do next, terminal effects. I got a piece of body armor, old piece of body armor I had laying around, soft body armor. It's level 2A. It's rated for 9mm plus P, 124 grain full metal jacket. I'm going to fire one of them out of my Glock 19 at it, and then I'm going to try a round from the Tokarev, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to set that up, and we'll do that next. Okay, I'm back. I have this point blank soft 2A body arm. It's an old vest of mine. It's rated for 115 to 124 grain 9mm full metal jacket. I'm going to shoot it with my Glock 19, and then I'm going to follow up with the Tokarev. I got a water jug behind it. Water jug may rupture from the shock, but the vest needs some kind of give. See if it stops the projectile, and then we'll go to the Tokarev. I'm going to put my ears on. That's the round. And let me zoom you in. And put my ears on. Okay, let me zoom this out. All right, the water jug just ruptured from the shock. These are the point blank vests. They came in 2 panels rear, 2 panels front. This is the rear panel. Struck here, and it bulged here. Did not exit. This is from something else. In fact, I'll mark it with orange paint. But that's the 9mm strike. And we'll try it with the Tokarev. Okay, back. I'm going to do the Tokarev round at a CZ52. I just have it like a half-empty water jug, just holding the side of the panel up. I have a clear part of the body armor to strike. Water jug behind it, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, and the other 2 little milk jugs I got. That's all I happen to have on hand. We'll see if the Tokarev punches through 2A body armor. And put my ears on. Okay, now for the Tokarev. I forgot to zoom it in for the shot, but it went clean through the body armor. I cleared it on the edge. I went through the first panel, went through the second panel, went through the water jug. It skipped low, hit the bottom of that plywood. Looks like a fragment hit the plywood, and a chunk of it skidded along the board underneath and hit that other water jug in the back. The Tokarev is a very high performance, high velocity round, and that just goes to show it. Out of a handgun, this is not Soviet surplus or anything. This is just commercially manufactured PPU ammunition. But at 1475 feet a second out of that pistol, it will punch through soft body armor. I've done this with level 2 body armor too, and the whole panel clean through. And that's going to be it for our thermal effects test. I could have lined a bunch of water jugs up and shot them with the Tokarev. It would have penetrated probably 4, maybe into the 5th one. Full metal jacket. So it'll do the job. So going to our next thing. Okay, welcome back for the summary on my CZ52 semi-automatic military handgun from the Cold War, and the 7.62 by 25mm Tokarev cartridge. High performance round. You know, it's moving out at the 5 shots I took on the chronograph. I'll go over that result. 1,442 feet per second average, 85 grain projectile. The extreme spread for the 5 shots was 78 feet a second, and the standard deviation was 30 feet a second. And the energy would be 393 foot-pounds of energy. I think I said in one of the clips, this was the highest velocity cartridge, the 7.63 Mauser, and then obviously the Tokarev is even a little faster, until the advent of the 357 Magnum revolver cartridge. The first loadings of that were, I think, 125 grain bullet at 1,500 or 1,550 feet a second. This has a 4.5-inch barrel, so with a semi-automatic pistol, an inch of it's taken up by the case in the chamber. So basically 3.5-inch barrel, accelerating the projectile quite fast. Did the ballistic, the recoil comparison test, 22 Ruger semi-automatic pistol versus this. This is snappy, but it's not unpleasant to shoot. The grip is nice and, fits my hand good. And your hand's kind of high up on a pistol, so really it's a rock up. But it does move around there. Obviously, this was originally designed as a military pistol for the Czechs, Czechoslovakia. After the Berlin Wall came down, they had a peaceful divorce. Now they're two countries, Czech Republic and Slovenia. But I think it was made in Skodis. I think I got the probably butchering a pronunciation of the Czech town where Česká Zábrovka is located. And CZ makes a lot of quality firearms. It's a very well designed pistol. Shooting it ejects the spent brass 25 feet. They were flying quite a bit. I only recovered a few of them. They were all over the place. Did the ballistic pendulums. I missed the one shot. I had to load another shot into the magazine for the CZ. It shoots a little low for me. But out on the film, you can see the 22 long rifle versus the 7.62 Tokarev. In the submachine gun, I think this achieves something like 1,800 feet a second, a longer barrel, and that's moving on pretty good. It's almost in the territory of the 30 carbine, slightly inferior, but it's getting in the neighborhood. I believe 200,000 of these pistols were manufactured, and 25 years or so, a whole bunch of them come into the United States. You may run across one of these in a used gun shop. They're a very fine pistol. Could you use it defensively? Yes. Any handgun can be used in a defensive role. It's going to over-penetrate with full metal jacket ammunition. It's going to shoot right through your adversary in most cases. That's been my experience with shooting various targets with this thing. I do all these tests cold. I haven't fired this thing probably a year. So you pull it out of the safe and then load it up and fire it, and you get the results. You get the results. Accuracy-wise, at 20 yards, they were still on the A zone, but they were shooting low from my point of aim, maybe 6 inches low, and that's probably me, or perhaps it's sighted for different ammunition, or it was regulated for different velocity ammunition. But the accuracy target I have right here, I recycle these targets. This is from a 338 Wing Mag. When shots were logged, that's what that is. But it's 10 shots I took. They're all in the A zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. That's the aiming point right there, but they were low. Would it get the job done? Absolutely. I think Jane's compendium of firearms lists the effective range of this as 70 meters, which would be 77 yards. It's a flat shooting cartridge, so I don't see the problem with that. I hit my 50-yard torso, but I was either shooting low or high. I forget how I was holding. I was holding on the head, I think. I think I was shooting low, shooting underneath it. But once you figure out where the sights are hitting, there'd be no problem hitting 50, 60 yards with this handgun, as long as you do your part. It's extremely easy to take apart and field strip and clean. That roller locked action, the barrel comes back straight. The barrel doesn't move up and down like a 1911 or a Glock or any of the Browning design derivatives. The tilt unlocking mechanism in Browning high power, 1911. Most of the modern pistols today, they have some type of link or cam that cams the barrel out of battery as it's recoiling to provide the delay so the bullet exits the barrel. This is done with rollers, and if it works for the MG42, it's going to work for this little handgun. Pleasant gun to shoot. If you should acquire one or inherit one, it's a fine little pistol. It's good plinker. Wouldn't be my first choice for defense, or home defense, or self-defense, but if that's all you got, it'll serve the purpose. And decock it. Has this khaki canvas holster that came with it. Like I said, it came with 2 magazines. I don't know, the other one's around here somewhere. I'll locate it, but like I said, 8-shot steel magazine, pretty sturdy. The whole system is sturdy. As single action semi-automatics go, it's not a bad pistol to shoot. Like I said, I would not carry it with a round in the chamber and a hammer cocked. That I would not do with this handgun. If I were to carry it, I'd probably keep it a condition 3, chamber empty. Just pull it and pull the slide when you draw the pistol. Or keep it with the hammer down. It does have a decocker, but you have to cock the hammer manually. Sometimes easier just to rack the slide a little clearer, depending on how you practice. With that'll be my video today on the 7.62 by 25 Tokarev cartridge and the Cold War Relic, the CZ Seska Zabrovka model 1952 semi-automatic pistol. If you like the content, I'm Old Gun Guy. Like and subscribe and share and comment. And I see the comments. I'll try and get back to you. And have a good day.